And welcome to the 88th episode of the TechnoBuffalo Show. I'm one of your two hosts for today, Sean Ani, Director of Operations for the company, and I'm joined by Executive Editor Todd Hazelton.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing this week, Todd?
I'm good. Busy. My wife and I are working on a move, so it's kind of messy behind me. If you can see boxes, I don't know.
Well, that's why you get a sheet.
Yeah, that's right.
And may the 4th be with you, Todd.
Yes, may the 4th also be with you.
And with all of us. And if you don't know what that means, go look it up. Anyway.
Get off the internet.
If you obviously have just joined the internet if you don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So a couple things we wanted to go over this week. Of course, we've got iPhone rumors swirling around. We've got Note 6 rumors swirling around. And we've got a really wacky Batman rumor. But starting off, all right, so we had the leaked piece. It looks like it has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack.
Yeah, so iPhone 7, the rumor's been, we've talked about it on the show several times, a million times probably, that there's not going to be a headphone jack. And so everybody was thinking, well, does that mean there's going to be a lightning cable headphone system, which might allow for more data, or are we going to see Bluetooth or something like that? I mean, reliance on Bluetooth. Obviously, Bluetooth is already included. And then yesterday, a leaked part came out that seems different, but similar enough to previous iPhones to suggest that the iPhone 7 might actually have a headphone jack. And so now the question is like, okay, is it going to have one, or is, say, just the iPhone 7 going to have a headphone jack, but like the rumored, iPhone 7S, iPhone 7 Plus and the iPhone 7 Pro model or iPhone Pro, will those then not have one? Which would make sense. I know there's too much going on, but it kind of makes sense. Like for Apple, if you look at their MacBook family, and with the MacBook, they went down to just one USB-C, and maybe they'll just have one model that gets rid of it, like the Pro model or something. Or none of them will have it, or all of them will, and it's all just been dumb. That's the problem with these things.
First off, I think it's a little early for this part to be leaked.
Yeah.
At least it feels like to me. I mean, I take that back. We're only 4 months out.
4 months. It's going to start. Yeah, it's going to start with all these parts.
I completely blanked on the fact it's May. How did it become May?
No, I was thinking that today, too. I saw we were doing a story about someone, Apple poached somebody from Google, and it said she joined this year, and I looked it up, and she had joined in January, and I was like, oh, that's just like last month. And then I'm like, wait, it's May. But quick tangent there.
Oh, this year is just flying by. So yeah, I mean, we are only 4 months away from the debut of the new iPhone, so it is possible that is a legitimate part. But now, if we're going to start nitpicking about, well, it's going to be like this on the 7, but not on the 7 Plus.
Yeah, I can't wait to rewrite that story 20 times as the rumor, because we're going to have rumors continue, and maybe there's an iPhone 7 Plus, say, that has a headphone jack, but the Pro doesn't. And then like one body leaks, but then the body of the other one leaks, and we're like, oh, it doesn't. Oh, wait, but it does, but it doesn't. And then, and then it's all made clear in September when Apple introduces them.
I hate this time of year.
I think a year ago, too, we talked on the podcast about how crazy it can be. And I know our commenters, too, they're like, oh, man, like, why are you covering this again? And, it's like, well, it's different, and we don't like it as much as you don't, but we have to cover the news in some regard. Otherwise, people actually do like reading them, believe it or not.
Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't write them if people weren't interested.
Right.
I mean, there, and I'm not going to get into the minutia of it, but I mean, there are types of stories that we used to do that we no longer do because people didn't care. Yeah. So why should we kill ourselves writing stuff up that people don't want to read?
Yeah.
If we write something on TechnoBuffalo, more than likely it's because people are reading previous versions of that post, or we're trying something new. So you never know. But yeah, I believe you had some other iPhone issues you were going to address, or was that the only one?
No, that was the big rumor. There was also, yesterday there was a story, or maybe it was the day before, about a bigger battery, which is good news. And speaking of things people read, I could see the interest in people wanting a bigger battery in the iPhone. because people were clicking that story, and I think it makes sense. I mean, even my 6S Plus, I've realized it's just kind of, it's not lasting as long as other phones like my Galaxy S7 Edge. And in fact, yesterday I switched over to the HTC 10. They sent me one to check out, and I'm enjoying it. I don't want to go on a tangent too much. Anyway, the other rumor besides 3.5 millimeter headphone jack is an increased battery, which is also, I should say, also important because rumors have suggested the iPhone's thinner. So new battery technology, maybe. We'll see how that works. Another thing I want to point out, and it's a story I've been wanting to write, Apple hasn't so far really dipped its toes into quick charging at all. So I'm curious if that's going to happen with this iPhone 7. Some kind of fast charging. The only way right now is to use like an iPad charger on your iPhone, and you can speed it up a little bit. But there's no like official, 0 to 60 in 20 minutes kind of thing. And I hope they do that.
It's time for them to do it, but we'll see. So what's going on with the Note 6? Folks, I'll tell you this, now that I'm director of operations, I don't know absolutely everything that's written on the site anymore. So I actually learned things on the show now.
Latest rumors with the Note 6 yesterday was that a model might come with 256 gigs of storage, which is pretty cool. We haven't seen that yet. And actually, while we were on the iPhone, I think that might make sense there too. And I think Samsung's the one that's been developing those flash modules. So if we see it, that's pretty cool. And the other rumors, so it sounded like a pretty powerful phone. I think it was Snapdragon 823 instead of 820. Micro SD card slot in addition to 256 gigs of storage, water resistance, which is the IP68 rating that's on the Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, which I think would be cool, but I've talked about in articles. I'm curious how they're going to pull that off. I mean, nano coating helps a lot and gaskets and stuff, but how do you pull that off with an S Pen? Because that's like a direct way right into the phone, right? And like I know, same with the if you look at a USB port or something like that, usually what they have behind it is gaskets or the speakers and stuff that help keep the water out in addition to nano coating on the parts inside. But I'm wondering how it's going to work with an S Pen, because it seems like that could get damaged pretty easily with water and dust. I mean, you get dust in there. How are you going to rate that? What else? I think one of the rumors said a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which would be nice. But the thing is, I think that some people forget is that just because it's a Note, right, and you're getting a huge battery, like it doesn't mean, all of a sudden this is going to last like 2 days or something like that. Because remember, the processors are getting more powerful, though hopefully more power efficient. And the software is hopefully more power efficient with Android N and stuff like that. But also the displays are becoming more demanding as you do that. So it doesn't always equate to longer battery life just because the battery's getting bigger. But hopefully it does.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you. And that's what a lot of people, they want bigger batteries and they want to last longer, but then they also want new processors. They want more RAM. They want
that's the other thing. I think 6 gigs of RAM was a rumor too. It's sounding pretty crazy.
6 gigs of RAM does seem a little out there to me, but
yeah.
I'm not quite sure why a phone needs that much RAM, but
yeah.
It's a nice spec to throw at people.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I don't know. When are we expecting a Note 6? Doesn't it usually come out right before IFA?
Yeah, well, at IFA, but yeah, it could if it changes. Last year, I think they did it right before.
Yeah, it was like the day before IFA or something like that.
Yeah, and then rumor was they might push it a little earlier this year, so we'll see.
I don't know. It's going to be a crazy fall, I think, for phones.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing that we had on the docket was we wanted to address this crazy Batman rumor. So they're going back and forth on whether or not Ben Affleck's going to do a solo Batman film. But then this rumor popped up from Birth Movies Death that, all these rogues gallery of Batman are going to show up in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of those people that thinks anytime there's more than one villain in a movie, it's usually not a good idea because you get stupid fights and conflicting storylines and all that. But, they're talking about like throwing the entire rogues gallery in it, and everyone's like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Folks, come on. He's going to go to Arkham Asylum to visit somebody. He's going to walk down a hall, and you're going to see all of them in their cells. That's all this is going to be.
That does make sense, because they said, I edited the post, and I haven't been following closely, but they said it might just be like a glimpse at them, right? And that would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, yeah, they are.
That's happened in the comics tons of times, where he goes to like talk to the Joker or the Penguin or somebody in Arkham Asylum. And as he walks by, there'll be like one panel of each villain he's walking by. And so you see like Harley Quinn in a cell, and Two-Face in a cell, and so on. So it'd be an easy way to go ahead and establish they're all around, and that he has a history with all these characters. And it could go so far as them yelling at him as he walks by, Bats, I'll get you, Bats. That sort of thing. So before everyone goes thinking, though, that we're going to see this massive, 23 villains on Batman fight, it's not going to happen. Believe me, folks, there is a point where a budget goes, nope, no more. So we've got a ton of questions coming in. So let me jump into some of them here. And speaking of Batman, from Sachin Bahal, do we really need another Batman movie? I'm more excited for the Lego Batman movie coming in February 2017. The trailers are hilarious. I don't know. It's one of those things. There's a lot of movies where I go, do we really need this? Like Independence Day Resurgence.
Right. Wait, what's the other one? The Men in Black.
Men in Black 23 jump. Good grief.
I don't think we need that either.
No, Hollywood is just throwing everything at the wall right now to see what sticks, because they all want to be Disney at this point. And I'm sorry, Disney is Disney. You're not, they've spent 3 weeks at the top of the box office with The Jungle Book, and now they've got Captain America Civil War coming out this week, which will spend 3 to 4 weeks at the top of the box office.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. Disney is Disney at the moment. You're not going to beat them. Let's see here. From JK, do you guys think Cook is coming off as desperate with coming out saying they are going to release products people cannot live without?
No, I don't think so. I think, there's two sides to that story. I don't think so, because that's something Tim Cook always said. Like, we're going to develop products you don't even know you need yet. And that's sort of true for the iPhone and iPad and stuff like that, where, I've said this before, but tablets weren't really much of anything. And then the iPad came out, and then we have all of a sudden a tablet industry. But I think Tim Cook made those comments on purpose, because revenues fell for the first time since 2003 year over year. iPhone sales were down, and so I think Wall Street and people in general are like, oh crap, is the iPhone going the way of the iPad? Like, our sales going to go down with that consistently too? What's Apple going to do that's new? And in fact, it's an editorial I've written, like, okay, Apple did all these great things in the past, like, what's coming now? Because the iPad Pro was neat, a larger screen, but then the iPad Pro 9.7 is just like, all right, a smaller version of that. New MacBook was just refreshed. iPhone SE was basically, an iPhone 6S inside an iPhone 5S body. Like, stuff like that, I feel like is like, okay, where's the big innovation? Where's the car? Where are these products that we, don't know we need yet? And I think that's why he's saying it, like, calming some of these fears that everybody seems to have. But can't forget something you've talked about, something we talked about last week. Apple did have $10 billion in profits last quarter. Like, I don't think any other, I know no other company's doing that. So it's easy to be like, oh, Tim Cook's desperate, blah, 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 but they're not desperate at all. Not even close.
Exactly. And that's, yes, the iPhone sales were down. Okay. They still walked away with $50 billion in revenue, $10 billion in profits. That's not desperation.
Yeah, and while sales were down year over year, they were up if you went back 2 years. Just showing progress. And I think the concerns are, though, in general, like, and we talked about this, iPhone sales in China and stuff, and that's where the iPhone SE will come into play, hopefully, if it works out for them. So, and those weren't included in this quarter.
Yeah, I'm not that concerned, and I really believe that they're not that concerned, but we'll see. Let's see here from Brazen Franco. Do you think that Microsoft will not add Win32 program support to their next WP flagship now that Intel has announced that they are dropping out of the mobile SoC market and stopping the development of what add to be the next generation of Atom SoC? I don't know. Windows Phone is such a mess as it is.
Well, I think Win32, that's what we were looking for, and it kind of sucks because I was looking forward to that too, President. But if Intel is really backing out, then you start to wonder, like, how's that going to work? Because you're right, like, you're not going to be able to do it on a Qualcomm chip or an ARM chip. So you sort of need Intel. But then I start to wonder, like, could there be, if Intel's leaving mobile, like, could there be some sort of, because Intel still is in mobile, right? Like, if you look at the Galaxy Tab Pro S, for example, next to me, it's a tablet, right? But it's got Core M. And so you start to wonder, like, can they go that route? Otherwise, I think just kill Windows Phone. Like, if you can't offer that experience, and whether or not we need Win32 apps in mobile, like directly on our phone, I think you want that experience when you plug it in to use Continuum or something to actually get a full Windows 10. Like, whether that means a partitioned hard drive where you have Windows Phone / Windows 10 on your phone, and maybe you plug into something that's got a Core M processor, like a dock, and then you can run all those apps. I think that would be really cool, but I don't know, if it's going to happen. And if not, then I think, just give up on the Windows Phone in the sense that we know it now, because obviously the app system's not working, hasn't been working.
Yeah, but I don't know if Microsoft's ready to give up that fight yet, but I think the rest of us have figured out it's over.
Well, I mean, I think they've admitted, look, like, the experiences are better on Android and iOS. They know that. They're making great apps for those platforms. So you start to wonder, what's their strategy then? Because, I mean, it looked like, as President's saying, we were going to get Win32 apps somehow on a phone, and that's not happening. So, I mean, not if Intel drops out of it. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a weird time. Let's see. Going on to Star Wars related here from Sachin Bahal. Are you guys more excited for Rogue One, a Star Wars story, or Star Wars Episode 8? I'm excited to see where the story goes in Episode 8, but I'm super excited for Rogue One because I've been interested in this particular story since 1977. Todd, we have to ask, have you finally watched The Force Awakens?
No. And I own it. I know. I was talking to Roy about it last night, and he sent me this thing like Star Wars Force Awakens out of emoji, and I was like, I can't watch it because spoilers.
Oh, Todd.
It's terrible.
So you have no opinion on that. All right. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Can't say I'm excited for Episode 8, right?
Yeah, exactly. From Brazen Franco, what do you think of many Apple's products being Time's most influential gadgets? I think they have been influential. Has the iPhone been the most influential? That I took some task with.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I don't know. You start to think the iPhone's influential, right? Because you'd say computer, like some kind of computer, pick a computer that's influential. But then what sort of put computers, aside from just a phone that did text messages, what put smartphones everywhere? The iPhone did, right? Like, not only, it doesn't matter that everybody's not carrying an iPhone. It matters that iPhone helped create this demand for smart devices in our pockets and everywhere, computers taking us everywhere. And then that spread around the world, like Androids all over the world, right? Billions of people with these devices. And that's why I think the iPhone's influential, if even as a catalyst for other smart devices.
And I agree. It deserves to be towards the top of the list, but I'm thinking more towards, like, say, the Commodore 64, which was the first truly affordable home computer. Mm-hmm. Something along those lines. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind the iPhone probably belongs in the top 3, definitely the top 5. But is it the most important? I don't know. That one was a little rough for me. But you do make a very, very valid point about how it inspired so many other phones. But
it inspired the app stores and apps and services and everything.
But why?
Because of iOS.
Why not make the Sidekick the number 1 phone?
Yeah.
Or the Kyocera Echo.
Yeah.
With its 2 screens. Or the Kin.
Yeah, Microsoft Kin.
Or the Palm Pre and just showed the creepy commercials on loop.
Oh, man. That girl.
That was such a horrible advertising campaign.
Yeah.
Good grief. From Sachin Bahal, do you notice that the Note series is where Samsung experiments a bit more? I knew that sneeze was coming for ages. The first Note phone was an experiment to see if people wanted huge phones with a stylus. I definitely think that's where they experiment.
Yeah, they've always experimented. That's what the Note is.
Yeah. The Note's where they throw wacky things against the wall and see what sticks.
I don't think it's a matter of noticing it. It's just like fact.
Yeah.
That's what Samsung's always done.
Yeah, the Note series is definitely the experimental platform. From Brazen Franco, why doesn't Microsoft just drop WP and make their own Android flavor? They showed us that it's possible to do so with the partnership with Cyanogen. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd love to see them take that path.
I mean, I think there is a point where ego definitely kicks in for a company, and they, but we know we're right. You guys just haven't realized it yet. We know we're right.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't want to, they probably don't want to pay Google to license the Google Play Store, Google Play services. So then they do their own. And then they're probably wondering, well, if we do our own, our own app store and stuff, aren't we going to be in the same spot we sort of were with the, with Windows Phone? And I think, then you go along the lines of creating sort of like an Amazon device, right, where they don't have Google Play services. And that's great for Amazon because it still has, plenty of apps. So Microsoft could probably do something like that with developers. But Amazon's platform works differently because these are sort of devices that get you into their ecosystem and to buy their products and stuff like that. Whereas Microsoft their ecosystem's already across all these other devices. So, like, why that? I think they would have to license from Google for it to make a lot of sense, and I'm not sure they would ever do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Weird tangent. Have you ever played around with Amazon Prime Pantry?
Nope.
Okay, so what it does is they'll give you a flat shipping rate of $5.99 for whatever goes in the box. As you add items from the pantry portion of the store, it tells you how much of the box you've filled up.
Oh.
So the other day, I'm like, well, they've got some stuff I need. So I start filling a Prime Pantry box. And then I started to discover the devious brilliance of this. I got everything I needed into the box, and it was only up to like 50% filling the box. I'm not going to pay $5.99 to ship a 50.
I was going to say, why not get it with Amazon Prime with free shipping?
Right. So my initial reaction was, oh, well, I'll just find more things to put in the box. And I was like, oh, there we go.
There's the brilliance.
There's the brilliance. They're trying to get, oh, well, I've got more room left in the box. I might as well throw more stuff in.
That's weird, though. Like Prime Pantry, I get it, but why not just add like 20 things that are already with Prime and get them in whatever boxes they come in?
Because the pricing sometimes is slightly different in Prime Pantry.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so why not shave a couple cents off in Prime Pantry and get people to fill up more of the box, sell more volume?
Right.
Oh, you sneaky Amazon people.
That makes sense.
It's almost like they've got psychologists working for them and trying to figure out customers. From such a Bahal, off topic, thoughts on the rumor that the Tower of Terror at Disneyland might get a Guardians of the Galaxy makeover to coincide with the release of the sequel in May 2017. It depends on if it's a permanent reskin or if it's just a temporary reskin. They do it every holiday season with the Haunted Mansion. They reskin it to Nightmare Before Christmas. If it's a temporary reskin, why not?
Yeah, that would be fun. Speaking of rides, did you see the story we did yesterday? New virtual reality roller coasters, right? It was in the UK. I forget the name of the park. But in any case, it was a virtual reality ride. So I think they're wearing Gear VR headsets, and they go out. And right in the beginning, the roller coaster shuts down because it's in the rain. And so for whatever reason, the roller coaster has this like fail switch or whatever, right? So if it's too rainy, it stops. These people are stuck there hanging in the rain with virtual reality headsets on their faces. I mean, nobody was hurt, but talk about a sight. Like, can you imagine? And like, when that happens, does the ride keep going and like you like in your goggles, but like you're still and it's just raining on you? Like, what? I can't imagine.
That is bizarre. No, thank you. From Brazen Franco, opinions on Call of Duty going to space. As I told Joey the other day when that story came out, I was like, Joey, there's a typo in your headline. You somehow misspelled Titanfall as Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'm tired of that too. Like all this futuristic stuff, it's kind of fun, like here and there. But I really think, I mean, as somebody who's played Call of Duty since the beginning, like I like the real war style, whether it's like World War I, World War II, you know, Desert Storm kind of stuff. Like I don't, the sci-fi shooters to me, like when you're running on walls, like I just stop with that. It's just I don't find it very fun. So well, that's why I like the Battlefield games or the not 2142 or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah, Brazen, you asked a question that was going to be my next tangent here. Why can't Activision give the better Modern Warfare remaster as a standalone instead of forcing me to pay an extra $60 for useless content? 100% agree with you. I would love to have that remaster. I loved Modern Warfare. I'd love to go back to some of those maps. Mm-hmm. I have zero interest in the new game.
Yeah, me too. I'm the exact same way. And I think a lot of people are. And actually, Joey wrote the story earlier that went up that said Activision apparently doesn't really care. Like, the fact is, they don't care if people are buying that game just to play remastered. And I know. I think there's going to be a lot of people.
There are a lot of people that will rebuy it just to play remaster. I won't do it. I'll wait till there's like a massive sale or something, but I'm not paying the launch price.
Yeah, I mean, you start to see that too. There were a bunch of maps I wanted in Battlefield 4 that were older ones. I think there might have been like some Battlefield 3 or Battlefield Vietnam maps or whatever, and they're now on sale. I think for the next couple days for free, not on sale, but they're free DLC. So like it's a year later or whatever, but you know, at some point you get to play them.
Yeah, no, I'd love to play. Modern Warfare was a fantastic game.
Yeah,
it was when Call of Duty actually was cool.
Yeah,
and you know, I saw Joey's post showing what some of the maps were that were coming back, and there were a couple of them I can still remember every inch of some of those maps.
Yeah,
and I'd love to jump back into them, but we'll see what happens. Packaging it with the new game though, that's kind of a cheese move.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't.
Yeah, I wonder if they could just. Why not they just sell it separately? People are going to buy both, and people are going to buy one or the other. But I think this way you're kind of losing potential customers that want to pay for one of them. They just don't want to pay that full price.
Exactly. From Sachin Bahal, did you guys see the Chrome extension that T-Mobile put out? It replaces all instances of AT&T and changes it to the Death Star with AT&T still in the word death. No, I didn't, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, kind of tired of T-Mobile doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
used to be funny. Now I just don't really care.
Yeah, at this point, it's just kind of become, okay, fine. Focus on actually improving your coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, whatever. Well, we have actually already run out of questions. Do you have any other topics that are on your mind this week, Todd?
No, I don't. I think it's been a crazy week with stories on the actual site.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, and it's going to get busier, as we start getting closer to the fall when, we will be seeing the Note 6 and the iPhone 7 and all that stuff. It's going to be nuts, all the rumors and leaked parts and everything else that comes out.
Right. We could do a couple rundowns real quick of stories that people who are listening today might want to know about. For example, NextBit Robin is $2.99 on Amazon. We have that on the site. It's usually $3.99 unless you bought it during the Kickstarter campaign. So that's a pretty solid phone on sale. And then also, while we were on topic of the iPhone, there was a patent yesterday. Oh, this is a popular story about an invention, the patent, an invisible charging port on future iPhones, possibly. I mean, like if Apple can figure this out and do it. But basically, it was like, I LG had like their self, like repairing skin on the back of some of their phones. And the idea behind this patent too is that there's like this port that like sort of self repairs itself with like plastic or something and disappears. Yeah, it's like, it sounds super futuristic, almost like what? And I don't see that happening. And the first reaction between myself and other editors on the site, I didn't write the story, but was like, isn't wireless charging invisible charging? Like, which it is. But I thought that was kind of cool. So that's on the site too, if anybody wants to read it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't need a liquid metal iPhone that turns into a T1000 at night while I'm sleeping. Anyway, from Bobby Delaney, either of you guys use the Robin after the update. I want to get one, but the initial reviews have the camera as meh.
Yeah, I do. They sent me one with the update, and then I have my own that just got the update too. The camera, they said they made a lot of focus on it, right? Pun intended, to be quicker and stuff like that and better in low light. I haven't used it much in low light since the update, but I can say it's not that much quicker. It's still not like an amazing camera, but it's also not a bad camera. I just, there are better cameras. I wouldn't buy the phone for that camera, but I also wouldn't, let it hold you back. They're pretty sweet phones. I mean, I have the mint one right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to fight the urge to buy one.
It's neat. I mean, again, there's better phones out there, but it's for $299. It's a really great design. I think you buy that phone for the design, really, and maybe the cloud storage.
Yeah. From Tom Jones, OnePlus 3 rumors. Is there anything new this week?
Yeah, there was. What was there today? The rumor today was that it might use Oppo's charging. So Oppo's quick charging, or whatever the heck they call it. It's not quick charging. Apparently can charge the phone in like 15 minutes, which would be wild. But I haven't ever seen this. I don't know. I haven't followed Oppo that closely. We've reviewed a couple of their phones over the years, but 15 minutes seems awfully fast to me. But if they have that, and OnePlus has a phone that can charge in 50 minutes, that's pretty crazy. I'm not sure I believe that one.
Yeah, that does seem a little...
I think other ones are like Snapdragon 820, the rest of the flagship specs at a budget price. I mean, the OnePlus story, right? That's basically it.
From Brazen Franco, what do you think will come out of the talks between the devs of not Solarius and Blizzard? I have no idea what that even is. That would be a Joey question, and he's not here today.
I think that was I might be wrong, but I think that was the third-party servers that were running WoW games, World of Warcraft, if I'm not mistaken. And if they're having talks, I hope they work something out. I know there were a lot of fans that wanted to play World of Warcraft under the original rules. And I know I know how important that is because, and I'm totally guessing, but I'm guessing that's what that question was. And I know how important that is because I used to play, I think I've talked about it before, Ultima Online, and I loved that game. And then in like early 2000s or something, they totally changed the rules, and there's still like fan servers out there that play on the old rules. And sometimes they're fun to hop on and remember, for nostalgia and stuff.
Yeah.
So I really think they should work something out.
From Sachin Bahal, if Activision really wanted to, they could sell the Modern Warfare Master separately on its own like 6 months down the line. My guess is that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Be a nice way to pump up the revenue of a quarter further into the year.
Yeah, and like having the remaster help sales of the new game too, probably, and the more expensive sales.
From Brazen Franco, do you think in Civil War we will get Spider-Man's death and resurrection? No. I've pretty much read everything that happens in Civil War. There's no death and resurrection, so nope, they're not going to go that route. From Bob Delaney, Tech for Mom, good idea or leads to more phone calls to fix more issues?
Yeah, definitely going to lead to more phone calls, but get something easy like an Amazon Echo.
I had to run home yesterday in the middle of the afternoon because my mother couldn't get Skype working on her computer. And I was just like, seriously? And she's like, I can't find it. It's not in my apps. I was like, I've downloaded it 4 times.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just so yes, Bobby.
I think you're risking more phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I
will
will
with the flowers.
They never asked me a question about running the Echo ever.
Yeah, we're getting Echo. Something. Yeah, it's gonna be something super easy.
Yeah, the Echo, the $50 Fire tablet, a Jitterbug phone.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, you never know. She might enjoy that.
Mhm.
Well, folks, that is actually going to do it for this week. I know we're a little shorter than usual, but there was a lot of news this week, but not a ton of news.
Not a ton of like specific.
Yeah. So, but as always, we do appreciate you joining us. You can find the TechnoBuffalo Show on the Apple iTunes Store by searching for the TechnoBuffalo Show. And we do appreciate if you rate and review us. That does help out the show. We appreciate that on any of the services, actually. You can also find us on Pocket Cast. You can find us on the Android store. You can subscribe via RSS feed. You can find us on the Stitcher app, which means you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Basically, anywhere there are podcasts, you can find the TechnoBuffalo Show. To Tom Jones, yes, Joey will be back on the show. Until next time, I'm Sean Ani. I'm the Director of Operations for TechnoBuffalo. I've been joined by Executive Editor Todd Hazelton.
Bye, everybody.
Until next week, take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.